Hey guys, welcome back to Motivation and Box Trucking. Today we're going to cover all of the Amazon Relay major changes that they've made to their load board recently. But before we get into that, I want to make sure that I thank all of our Patreon members. We appreciate you all joining our community. And if you have yet to do so, make sure that you hit that link in the description or pin to the top of the comment section. We would love to have you as part of the family as well. So this is going to be like one of those old school motivation and box trekking videos. So get your notebooks ready and let's get right into it.
Always remember, the past is your lesson, the present is your gift, and the future is your motivation. Stay motivated and keep trucking, y'all. Motivate, motivation, 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 motivate, motivation, motivation, motivation.
So first we're going to take a look at the load board and see all of the changes that have been made. Some of these changes you may think are for the better, some are like not so detrimental to business. Some of them are kind of, in the way of how we could easily find loads. And then some things are great. So we'll just take a look at all of the changes that are on the load board. One of the first things that you notice when you open up the load board now is that there's this whole promoted load, booked load, like titles on top of loads that to me I find to be distracting. I feel like they've gone more on the consumer side, as if we're on just Amazon.com trying to buy something and they're like, oh look, hey, you bought this before, do you want to add it back to your cart? Or this is on sale too, add this, you can save today. Like, it's kind of like flash sale pop-ups. And to me, business to business, it's distracting. Like, just show me the loads. Because definitely, if you've been running Amazon for some time, then 90% of these loads you probably have booked before. So to put book before on a load for me, like, is not helpful, because yes, I know I've run thousands of loads. I'm pretty sure I've booked it before or something similar, because honestly, when they show book before, some of these loads like weren't even available before, but they're putting book before. So maybe it's a stop that I've gone to before, but trust me, we did not go there. We've never booked it for those prices. When you see those book befores and it's like, yeah, you've booked this load previously while you've run Amazon, but it's at a price of $1.78. Like, trust me, I did not book that load before. So to be honest, like, I just wish they would get rid of that. It's just in the way. Like, just show me a load for a good price, and if I like it, then I'm gonna book it. I don't care if I've never booked it before or if I booked it 100 times. Things happen, things change, and you may have booked something 3 months in a row and now you don't want to even go to that location anymore. So to put book before is just unnecessary. And like I said, it seems more like a consumer promotion than a business to business actual beneficial aspect to the load board. It's like, yeah, it's just distracting. So if you're listening, which I'm sure you are, Amazon, you might want to get rid of that. It's not really helpful. Another thing that I noticed is kind of when they bought that promoted load and booked before those titles, when they made that whole update to the load board, what they also changed was the relevance filter versus the start date. So at first, if you take a look at the relevance filter, it used to just filter everything in chronological order. So I didn't have to like click another filter to get to the loads in order. Now, relevance, I have no idea what relevance means to them. So I don't know. It's in an order that doesn't make sense to me. So you have to intentionally go to change the filter to start date nearest in order to see loads that are in chronological order. But even with that, they'll throw in one of their promoted loads in the midst of those chronological order loads. So just be careful that you're paying attention to the booking date. If you see one of those promoted loads pop up, then it could potentially be for further out in the week, and you don't want to book something thinking that you're booking it for that night. So just a little heads up. So that's the first changes, the two major changes to the actual load board. Now, for the entire website, their whole kind of platform, they've made quite a few more changes. Um, First, starting, let's see, we'll start with the scorecard, which used to be called performance, but now they're referring to it as scorecard. And as you can see, there's it looks kind of the same, but instead of you having to go filter and look for the last 7 days so that you can try to catch maybe a issue and dispute it before it actually hits your score, they've made that a little bit more simpler so that you can just click on the little slider bar thing and it'll show you whether or not your score has changed in the past 7 days, or if you can expect a change for next week coming up. So that can help you to avoid disruptions to your performance and maybe catch something that you can dispute, because definitely with them changing that 2 weeks out for filing a dispute from an issue, it really has people kind of in a bind, because if you don't notice it until it hits your score, you're already more than likely a week out. So then you only have 1 week to dispute, and then you run into a lot of issues with getting things resolved without it affecting making your money. So be sure to toggle that little slider bar, and hopefully you can catch some issues before they affect your score. Um, in addition to that, at the top, another major change that I found out at the conference roundtable, at the roundtable, was safety is now added to the performance scorecard portion of the website. So next to performance, if you click the next tab over, is safety, and this is something that is similar, but not exactly. It's close. It's like a model Amazon's version of the safer or basic scores. And with this, a lot of people might not have realized that Amazon does check your safer scores, and if you do receive negative points on your safer or basic scores, they can suspend your account for whatever reason, DOT violations and things like that. So they're kind of tying the two together, so you can kind of see what your total rating is. For Amazon, they did say sometimes it's a point or two off from what your actual score may be. So just keep in mind that they are watching that, and you can get suspended and or terminated depending on what that score is. For us box truck drivers, definitely, like our company, for instance, we don't really do interstate. We do a lot of intrastate. We don't ever really leave Virginia. So we don't run into the scales. We're running overnight. We're running back roads. So a lot of times we don't even have the opportunity to cross a scale or to have an inspection done. So they said that if it's no data, just like it is for the safer score, if you have nothing that does not negatively impact your scoring or your ability to run loads, but if you do get negative scores, then of course that can negatively impact you. But to have no data there is like a clean slate, so it doesn't affect you negatively. So I did ask that because I'm like, if I need to run across the scale, I can. But a lot of times, as box truckers, we're renting vehicles, so you could get like perhaps a driver inspection, but a vehicle inspection wouldn't be something that would go onto your safer or your FMCSA information because you're renting a vehicle. It wouldn't be a personal inspection for your personal truck. So they understand that at least. So that's good to know. The next portion of the website they have updated is the reward section. Um, they are, I guess, trying to incentivize you. They're trying to incentivize you to run, and it gives you different status levels, tiers, I guess, of participation, um, based off of the amount of miles that you execute, your grade, your also like your tenure, sort of kind of plays a part in what level or tier you're on. But in the at the round table, I explained to them that, as a box trucker, we're not running the same amount of mileage that a rig would, of course. And a lot of times, I'm intentionally running low mileage for the highest price to get the most bang for my buck. Unlike some of the long OTR loads that are offered for the rigs, it'll be difficult for me to reach the next tier based off of mileage as a box truck. So they said that they are going to possibly try to work on the fact that there is a difference between line haul and DDU box trucks versus the rigs, and some kind of way maybe separate the way that rewards that rewards section is divvied out so that it's fair for box truck, and I guess incentivizes box truckers to even care about that reward section, because there were some good things. It looked like they had maybe bringing back some 1 day payments, which would be great. I used to love instant pay, but that's something that depends on which tier you're on. You won't have access to, and most of us will probably be on the basic tier, running just a few loads, short mileage for Amazon as a box truck. So hopefully they'll make that change so that it is more beneficial to us as box truckers as well as line haul. But we'll see. Takes some time for those changes to be made, but they were willing to listen to that as a critique of that of the rewards section, and hopefully they can make those changes for us as box truckers. In addition to that, there were quite a few rewards programs that they went over with us. If you are familiar with the rewards tab before they made these changes, they pretty much just used to show all of the third party companies that they had partnerships with, so you could get like discounts on your tires, discounts on a rental truck, discount on insurance and things like that. So take a look at that tab. They also have the Lindustry loan, the loan with Lindustry that is specifically for Amazon relay runners. Personally, maybe I'll make a video about that as well. I'm not that interested in that loan and some of the details about it, but I'll go over that in another video. But if you are interested, you need some cash flow, you need a loan, they are willing to work with you. It's based off of you running Amazon versus just like your personal credit or a different type of collateral. So take a look at that as well. So yeah, so those are the major changes that I saw right before peak season. They always make major changes. Look forward to lane changes if they haven't already happened. Usually they happen quarterly, so they should have occurred in your facility like mid-October, maybe either right before or right after that little prime that was run. Just be familiar with the lanes and the changes that they've made, and see if you can position yourself to be in a good position of knowing what you should and shouldn't run, making sure that you're available for loads and understanding what those lanes are like is a good thing to do right before peak season, so that you could try to make as much money as possible during peak, because it will be hectic, it will be crazy, it will be chaotic with all the newcomers who finally got their 180 days. For all the people who only run Amazon for peak, all of those new friendly faces will be in the building. So if you are familiar enough with the lanes and the times and all that stuff, then it can alleviate some of the headache. At least you're not completely blind coming in to the facility trying to maximize your profits during peak. All right, so I'm just going to end that here for all of the changes that were made. Those were the major changes. When it comes to what I discussed with the people at the round table, it actually was a very good conversation. I'll be honest. I was surprised to see the amount of middle mile managers that were in there, as well as the representatives from each department. So there was someone from ROC, there was someone from DDU, there was someone from disputes and performance and everything like that. So it was everyone in there trying to just get feedback from the carriers. A lot of the carriers were in there because they were excited to actually be able to talk to someone in person. They were there to kind of talk to someone about disputes, like their scoring or issues that they have with their account. But I'm sitting at an A plizzy right now, so we don't have any issues at the moment. So I really did focus on things that I thought would make the program more efficient or more effective, and just help out the entire program for box truckers. Like I explained to DDU what it was like to actually go to the post offices, how most post offices have a really bad relationship with Amazon. They hate to see us coming in, they hate to see you showing up with a late load. It's different because I've run other things to post offices like UPS and things like that, and they don't have the same attitude towards you when you walking in as a different carrier besides Amazon. So just let them know what that's like, and gave them some real life examples and about the timing and the scoring, and if they're focusing on safety, that they really need to be more lenient on the score, because that makes people feel like they're under a lot more pressure. Definitely for us doing DDU, where we have a lot more live loads, where we have to scan and load our own trucks. Like the time crunch that they put on you makes you get back out into the field. Maybe you're speeding, it's already overnight, and that pressure that they're putting on you with that score is detrimental to safety. It's like counterintuitive to what they're claiming that they're trying to do is focus more on safety. So hopefully they can be more lenient, let the leash loose a little bit for that scoring. I'm like a 100 is pretty much the only thing that allows you to see loads. Like anything under that, you might as well just have an F, because the load board is like, just scarce after that. So hopefully they can maybe change the range of what an A is, what a B is, what a C is, be more lenient on the scoring and having to go through that whole process of disputes. I suggested, which, I'll let you all know in this video, I suggested, but if it ever happens, I probably won't ever get credit for it. But I don't do it for the credit. I definitely do it because I feel like it'll be more efficient and just a better program if they do make certain tweaks. So one tweak that I suggested is that they, in sort of like this rewards tab, they go ahead and have like, like a punch card, or you gain points just like that, where you can redeem for a removal of a rejection or a removal of a late, for definitely for people who run it 24/7, 365. It sucks when you have a 100 all year, and then right before a peak something happens to your truck, or you're late or something, something happens, and now you're trying to fight a dispute, and that knocks you out the game for 6 weeks. And it's unfortunate because it's like you aren't even looking at my tenure, you're not even looking at anything else, you're just seeing this one incident, and 9 times out of 10 you're going to deny my appeal for a dispute. So hopefully they can make that change, and that would eliminate them having to deal with so many disputes, because you could just go in and redeem your points and keep it moving. So we'll see if they make little changes like that, that can make the program just more beneficial, definitely for those of us who run it all year round, who are really invested in our loyal, reliable carriers. You want to keep those people on board so that that you're not bringing in people that you have to train, re-explain everything, make all those changes. Like, we've been rolling with the punches all year. We pretty much know what it is, and when peak comes, we're not going to be here just to make a few dollars and then leave. We're here year round, so I feel like you should definitely be rewarded, or at least incentivized to do so. So we'll see what changes may come in 2025 that are more beneficial, but so far those are all of the things that they've changed. I am going to make a longer video that breaks down what these changes and other things could possibly, of how they could affect you during peak season, and just some pro tips and tricks that we would suggest you definitely do during this time. Now, that video with all of that great information is going to be uploaded to our Patreon pretty soon, so be sure to look out for that. We're definitely going to try to get more into some peak season tips and tricks and information on both platforms in the upcoming weeks. So make sure that you're joining us. Keep your notifications on. Make sure that you subscribe, and if you haven't done so already, hit the like button. Appreciate it. So until next time, guys, stay safe and stay motivated.